And this is where the story gets good. This is like, I'm glad that we... Hello from Kuala Lumpur. My name is Ronnie.
And I'm Amy.
And we're the Jones family, and along with our two kids, we travel the world full time. We've been doing it for 2.5 years now. And currently, we're in Malaysia, and we are attempting to travel to all the various places in Malaysia. We've been here for a few months. We did get caught in the quarantine, so that slowed things down. But prior to the quarantine, we went on a little trip to Sabah, Malaysia.
Sabah is one of the states of Malaysia that is on the island of Borneo, and they share landmass on Borneo with the entire country of Brunei and part of Indonesia.
Yeah, so it's an island that has 3 countries on it.
The flight to Sabah is about 2.5 hours. We flew from Kuala Lumpur to the city of Sandakan, and we went to Sabah for 2 reasons. One was for a safari in the jungle, and the second reason was to do the Mount Kinabalu trek.
Now, Mount Kinabalu is the highest mountain in Malaysia. It's 4,095 meters tall, and that's pretty respectful for any continent, but especially in Southeast Asia, that's pretty tall. So this platform right here is probably the best lookout to see Mount Kinabalu. Way out there in the clouds. Hopefully later today too, it won't be so cloudy, we would get a good picture. But we were driving by yesterday real quick and I could see all of Mount Kinabalu out there.
Yeah.
Still very beautiful out here, even with all the clouds covering, but obviously more impressive. I mean, it's a pretty impressive little mountain. Mm-hmm. You know, I say little because we've obviously been around 8,000ers.
Yeah.
This is half of that, but still, it's got good prominence.
Yeah.
You know, it's got really decent prominence. Now, one of these things was successful, and one of these things was not too successful.
No.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, we flew over to Sabah with our friends, the Long family. If you've seen a couple of our other videos, like when we're traveling around Kuala Lumpur, when we're taking that big road trip, we hung out with the Long family. They were here for a little while.
That night we booked a homestay with Agoda in Sandakan. That was about $56.
And here is at a place called Lucy's Homestay.
Uh-huh.
And we got a grab car here, and the Long family is not here, and because they got another grab car from the airport.
Yep.
Because obviously they only fit 4, but we don't know where Lucy's homestay is.
Yeah, I just let them know that we are somewhere.
Oh, okay, good.
This one? No clue. Oh, yeah. We are somewhere.
Does this look right? And there's my thumbnail. Well, how is it? Everything's approved? Clean linens?
Yeah, we gotta figure out where we're sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either we're sleeping in this room or that room.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah.
No big deal. All right. And then, did you see the other crazy bed?
It's not really crazy.
That right there?
Oh, well, yeah, that's not really a bed. That's just extra mattresses being that's storage.
That's crazy. Good. Normal bedroom.
Yeah.
There's the dancing Aiden.
Oh, there's a bathroom.
Oh, there is one here.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have 2 bathrooms.
Yes.
And how much was this a night?
56.
56 US?
Yeah, US.
Okay,
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, and then the other bedroom is up that stairwell.
Okay.
And then the next morning we went to the Cephalic Orangutan Sanctuary. And you gotta make sure that you get there at the feeding times, which was first thing in the morning. So always double check what times the feeding times are if you want to see the orangutan.
Yeah, and it was a nice place. I mean, it is really well done. It was only about $3.50 per kid under 12, 13 years old, and about $7 per adult to enter in. They got all these nice boardwalks going through the jungle, so it's very picturesque. We didn't see any orangutans just kind of hanging out on their own or anything like that. I mean, it is a very thick, deep forest. You'd have to be lucky for one to kind of plop down on your boardwalk. But we did get to see all the baby orangutans during their feeding time behind this glass enclosure, which was really cool. We even got to see the
super baby, super small baby.
Yeah, the really, really small guy hanging on to his mama. And then we got to hang out, and there was a big crowds there. I mean, this was before coronavirus was really closing down countries, and it was really packed. And so, you know, everybody would kind of converge on an area, and then the caretakers would bring out a bunch of food, and you'd see just a whole bunch of, you know, orangutans, you know, come in and, you know,
monkeys.
Yeah, trying to all get a piece of grub, but
some squirrels.
Yeah, very nice. It was a very nice place. I would definitely recommend going. Plus, you know, when you get to see all the baby orangutans, that's always fun to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Go away.
And at the sanctuary, you have to put all your bags in the lockers. The lockers are free, and the reason they do that is because monkeys will take your stuff. And the only thing that you're allowed to have is your camera, and you have to keep it with you at all times. You're not allowed to set it down.
Yeah, you got to keep a hold of it because they don't want to see any bags there. Because obviously, if you have a bag, they automatically assume that there's food there. And I don't know how aggressive orangutans get. I know monkeys get aggressive. I don't know, but the orangutans are big. You know, they're bigger, more muscular. So, you know, if they did get aggressive, you're not going to be doing too well.
Yeah, you're not even allowed to bring water.
So at 10:30, it was about 10:30 in the morning, we got picked up by a couple taxis to bring us to a rendezvous point to meet with our tour guide. Now, I'm not going to show you our tour guide or even say the name of our tour company because it ended up not being very good. And the whole problem was, well, I'll get into that in just a minute.
So this tour was supposed to be 3 days and 2 nights. And we were supposed to go out on 3 different boat safaris and do a walking safari. And there were a couple other extras that you could pay extra for. And the whole reason we went was to see the pygmy elephants. And we're pretty sure that that was clarified before we went. And we went out a few times during the heat of the day, and it was really hot in the middle of a river with the sun beating down on you.
It's hot as hell out of here.
Yeah, it was pretty hot. But every time we went out, like Amy said, the whole purpose was to see these pygmy elephants. That's the only reason why we booked this safari, because we wanted to see the pygmy elephants. I had never even heard of a pygmy elephant before booking this safari. So when I heard about it, I'm like, okay, we're definitely booking this safari. And that's when we thought, well, since we're over there anyway, let's go ahead and include the Mount Kinabalu trek, because we'd wanted to do some trekking. So the whole time I'm thinking, all right, anytime now we're gonna see some pygmy elephants the whole time. So we're going out, you know, we went out for a couple hours in the hot sun. We're seeing some orangutans, we're seeing some monkeys. It's cool, no doubt about it. But the whole time we're keeping our eyes peeled for pygmy elephants.
Getting slim chances to find these pygmy elephants.
Yeah.
Hopefully we got this chance and then tomorrow, and that's it.
Yep.
Hopefully we see some pygmies.
Yes.
Okay. This whole trip is about pygmy elephants for me. So
You got a scarf,
Nope.
Charlie?
Nope.
hopefully I get at least a simple, you know, just a sighting.
Yes.
And it wasn't till like our third time out,
Yep. Second day.
third time out, and we find out that there's zero chance for us to see pygmy elephants, because pretty much all the pygmy elephants now are kind of like, there's like 60 or 70 on the island.
Yeah.
And they kind of venture in a group, And so they kind of know where they are at any point in time. But the tour guide never told us that they're 3 hours away and there's zero chance. So big miscommunication. I thought that there wasn't miscommunication. So actually, right after we found out that there was zero chance, the whole thing kind of fell apart. We didn't even do the last day because all we're seeing is some crocodiles, small crocodile that we can see anywhere, some monkeys that we could see anywhere, and we're not even seeing any more orangutans or anything.
Right. We saw a couple of orangutans in one area, and we saw those the first day.
Yeah, and then it got kind of heated, you know, between other parties. But anyway, because it was just kind of lying a little bit. So I don't want to say who it was or anything like that. Like I said, we did see some other animals, but it wasn't what we wanted. It was about 125 US per adult, and then children under 12 or under were about half of that. So it was kind of expensive. I mean, it did cover 2-night stay, although we only used it for 1 night because we left early because, you know, it was just, we were very disappointed and upset because the whole premise of seeing it was completely shattered. And it did include a couple meals, but it was not a very good time at all. It definitely wasn't worth the money. But to back up for a second, after we left the Cephalic orangutan sanctuary, we got in a taxi, we drove to Rendezvous Point, which is about, 30 minutes away or something.
Yeah.
And then we met with our tour guide, and it took 2 hours to get to where we were going to stay the night and do the safari. And on the way there, you could see nothing but palm tree farms for major palm oil production. And what I was told is that 50% of the island has been, cleared away for these palm farms. So it really has been extremely detrimental to the wildlife population. I mean, wildlife numbers, I don't have any specifics, but have just plummeted. And another major thing that we noticed was they're just not happy with what their island has become, because you have these big companies from China and local government officials and all that are pocketing most of this money, and it's not going to the locals. It's not going to provide schooling or that much infrastructure or something like that. So they're obviously notably upset about it. So I thought that was interesting. And as tourists, you're just basically for hours traveling through palm farms.
Yeah.
So that's it was a bit sad. I mean, I can understand having some palm farms, but when 50% of your land's now been cleared away, and then all your money is, or majority of your money is going offshore. So I definitely don't want to spread any more negativity to this particular tour operator, if you understand what I'm saying. We were kind of left in a situation where we had to leave all of a sudden. We didn't want to book her last night because things got heated, and we just basically had to schedule a last-minute ride back to Sandakan to then go and pay for another hotel booking in Sandakan. So we found a nice little hostel to stay at. And then the next day, we booked a bus ride to Kinabalu Park. So that ended up being about a 4-hour bus ride, pretty nice roads, not as smooth as like what we have experienced in Cambodia, where it's just smooth, but way better than say traveling in Laos. That's a bus.
Laotian mountains.
Yeah, you don't, 15 miles per hour going like this the whole time. But anyway, so that was like $8 a person. And so that was very reasonable, as opposed to purchasing a grab ride, which would have been 3 or 4 times that amount, or a private vehicle. So that was pretty good.
This is where we parted with the Long family, but we met a really nice French couple from Singapore who then became our trekking partners. Yeah,
so that ended up working out really well. And these guys, super nice, super positive people. They're outdoorsmen. They have a lot of trekking experience. They do marathons, very much in shape kind of people. So they were definitely, even pushing us along, which was nice. And this is where the story gets good. This is like, I'm glad that we did the safari before we did the trek because
Yeah.
this ended up just being such a wonderful experience. So first of all, you get into Kinabalu Park. It's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous. The infrastructure that they got there, it reminds me of being in a US national park.
Yeah.
There's a company called Sutera, and they operate all the lodges there and the restaurants. And they are just a class act. They are just a top shelf company. Their customer service is superb. The lodges that they keep are just awesome for being in a national park.
Yeah. They really are.
We stayed in a cheaper accommodation, was 4 beds, 2 bunk beds in a room, but they have luxury accommodations that you can stay at. They're more expensive. They have some very nice accommodations, like very, very luxury. Their restaurants are expensive, but they're very good because we ended up staying there a couple days prior to starting our trek. So we had access to go a couple times to go eat at the restaurants.
Where we found our first banana split in Malaysia.
Yeah, banana split, guys, and you got to have those to get pumped up and ready for a good trek. So anyway, just so nice. The bathrooms were clean. The hot water. We were staying at a basic accommodation level. The hot water was endless. It was just a very nice place, and we ran into some scheduling issues with the front desk. They were so easy to work with, and it was just super nice. So safe to say, we felt right at home. I mean, we were like, man, we want to stay here for just a week, just to chill out, because there's lots of different little small treks you can do, and they have a great restaurant, and you're in very good accommodations. It's just like, man, we just wanted to stay for just a long time, but we had to get the trek done. So anyways, so we're there for a couple days.
All right, well, I gotta say, this is a very good first night in our accommodation.
Yeah.
Man, I'm really liking this place. This is such a well taken care of, well infrastructured national park.
Yes, very much so. I am just glad that we found this place because it's beautiful. Even though we're staying in a hostel, the beds are nice. It's clean. I mean, we don't have like an ensuite bathroom, but the bathrooms are clean and hot water.
Yeah, nice hot water, lots of hot water.
Yeah.
And we're like the only ones in the whole like hostel building.
Yeah. It has a really nice common room, fluffy chairs.
Yeah, it's a very nice common room. And we played cards there last night.
Yeah, it was fun.
Maybe this is premature, I don't know. But I think that this place, the Sutera Lodges in Kinabalu Park, I think it's the nicest place I've been into in Malaysia. I mean, now that is totally opinion based on what your personal preferences are, but I like this the best because it reminds me of a very nice US national park. It's just peaceful and quiet. You could we could be in the US right now, like in a, judging by the foliage, in Florida.
Yeah.
So I really like it here. Yeah, and the temperature is just right here. It's got to be like, what, high 60s?
Yeah.
High 60s in Fahrenheit? I mean,
Yeah.
It's just lovely. Temperature, nice, cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even too cold at night. It's just chilly. It's like perfect because we don't have any heating in our accommodations or air conditioning, but we don't need either one.
Right.
You put a blanket on, you're golden. Really?
Banana splits.
Yeah. All right, ready for a trail?
Yep.
Let's trail it up. Thought it'd be nice we had a whole day in between getting here and starting the Mount Kinabalu climb. So we thought, what the hey? Let's, go on one of these little jungle trails. And so far, 3 steps in, looking pretty cool. So I would assume this is going to be a lot like the Kinabalu. Pretty much straight up, lots of stairs. Guess we'll see. Well, any higher altitude climbing that you do, any climbing you do over you know, a couple thousand meters is definitely going to tax you a little bit more for sure. But the good thing here is even in Malaysia, you know, you get up to these high altitudes and it's really cool. I mean, I'm breaking a sweat because, well, we just ascended, you know, pretty much at a really fast clip because Aiden's leading and he's basically running up the trails. Anyway, definitely got breathless, but the cool temperature. So I'm very curious to see how everything goes down on Mount Kinabalu tomorrow. So we think we've come to this clearing and it's pretty much the height of this trail. Nice little clearing, and we can tell because we have this beautiful view of Mount Kinabalu back there. You see it? See it right through that creek, right there. It's there, but obviously it's
A whole bunch of yearling trees are
Yeah.
blocking the way.
See that right there? That's busterous clay. We just found out that was called busterous clay. And all this here is a big old patch of busterous clay. What's busterous clay? Well, they call it there because if you're not careful, you'll bust your ass.
And the way that it works with Sutera Lodge is, and then you can book, there's a lot of different companies that you can book the Mount Kinabalu trekking experience through, because you have to book it in advance. You can't just show up. There is no independent trekking. It's a permitted, very controlled thing because they don't want too many people flooding the mountain. So you have to go with a guide. You have to one guide per 5 adults or one guide per 2 children. So we had to go with 2 guides because our French couple was 2 and me and Amy's 2, that's 4. But then we had 2 children, so we had to book with 2 guides. So when planning to trek to or climb to the top of Mount Kinabalu, there's a lot of different options you have. There's a lot of different companies out there. There's probably a dozen companies that book the experience. And there's different options in terms of where you're going to stay, because it's a 2-day trek, and midway through, you know, so it's 2 days, 1 night trek, and midway through you stay at accommodation, you know, up on the, you know, close to the top of the mountain. And there's a couple of different places that you could book. Different, you know, there's a couple different levels of accommodation, and they book out fast. So you have to book it very far in advance. In fact, a lot of people are saying you got to book it 6 months in advance, 3-4 months in advance. Luckily, we were able to book it a few weeks in advance, but we booked it not through a trekking company, but we went right to Sutera Lodge, and we were able to find 4 spots to do this trek. And it ended up being about $750 US for all 4 of us to do that. Now that includes a lot of different little fees. That includes, you know, there's transportation fees, there's park fees, there's permit fees, there's the fees to pay for your guides, and more importantly, there's the accommodations and all the food. Now, you have multiple meals. You know, you start off at 8 a.m. in the morning. Sutera, you know, sends you off with a brown bag lunch, and then you trek to your lunch spot, and then you enjoy that. It was a really nice lunch.
Yeah.
Say, there's a lot more. Okay, so lunch, they give you a. Oh yeah, I've bought these a couple times here in Malaysia. Those oat strawberry crackers. You got hard-boiled egg. You got apple. Nice. Got a muesli bar. You got a paper bag with something in it. Oh, it has a roll. And then the main course with wooden utensils. Nice. What do we got here? Oh, another egg is in the bag. Whoa. So another egg is down there. And then what's this? Oh, chicken and vegetables. It's a pretty healthy lunch. You went right for the roll, huh? I think we're going to take some of those chocolate bars off your hands so we have some every break to start feeding everybody with. Because part of the secret weapons for trekking is Snickers bars. And of course, Power packs. Okay, so secret weapons. Power packs and chocolate. And we got lots of chocolate.
In fact, all the food was really good. You would think on these all-inclusive trekking experiences in, way up on the mountain, the food would be blah, but it wasn't. It was really good, and you could see all day long porters carrying stuff up and down the mountains to make sure there's plenty of food. But then you get multiple meals. So you arrive at the accommodations up on the mountain, and then you have to wake up the next day at 2 a.m. and then you have the supper they call it, and then you come back because basically what you have to do is you trek up 6 kilometers, you stay at your accommodation, you wake up at 2 a.m., you trek to the top of the mountain, which is another 2.5 kilometers, and you wait for sunrise, then you trek back down to your accommodation. It's usually about 8 a.m., and then you enjoy breakfast, and then you trek all the way back down, which is another 4 or 5 hours, and then you enjoy lunch. So they got you for 3-4 meals plus the lunch, the brown bag lunch, and it's all, I had zero problems with the food.
Yeah.
It was all just very, very quality done.
Yeah, so as Ronnie said, we did a 2-day, 1 night. You can do a 3-day, 2-night if you don't want to do it too fast. There are those options.
And that is intense. I mean, 2 days to do this trek is very intense, especially since you don't get any sleep. But we'll talk about that in just a second.
Okay. This is the most interesting part, which is your starting point will be here at the Tim Pohon Gate. It is located about 4.5 kilometers from here, and yes, of course, you will send there by transportation. Okay? Alright, so along the way from Tim Pohon Gate to the Labarata Rest House will be 6 kilometers and uphill. Also, from Labarata to the summit will be 2 kilometers more, and the total will be 8 kilometers. Alright? So, from Tim Pohon Gate to the Labarata Rest House, there will be 7 shelters along the way. Okay? And each shelter, there is a toilet provided, water tank, and also bath. This is, I just want to remind you guys that the toilet, there will not be a toilet paper provided. So, you have to bring by your own.
So you do 6 kilometers up and you stay at the lodge, and then the next morning it's another 2.5 kilometers up to the top where you'll wait for sunrise if you want to, but it is absolutely gorgeous sunrise, as you'll see.
One of the most beautiful sunrises I've ever seen. I don't know what it is. It was just, you could not take a bad picture.
Whenever you decide, because it is freezing as you're waiting up there, when you decide to go down, it's another 2.5 kilometers back down to the lodge where you'll get your packs and everything. And then you will have breakfast, as Ronnie said. And then you'll head out once you're done eating to go back down the 6 kilometers. And it is brutal going down the mountain.
Okay, so this is the beginning of the trek.
Yeah.
Nice. We'll see this again tomorrow.
And you can see it again tomorrow.
Oh, that's what we'll see tomorrow when we're successful. Nice. But so far, getting started out here, it's all been downhill on some nice trail. So this is just to kind of get you tricked. And then right when you're starting to feel comfortable, then it's going to put the hard end on you.
Because I remember that one time on the K2 where there was a big rock slide and we had to like clamber over rocks.
Yeah.
Like on one of the first days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, well that downhill was short-lived.
Yeah.
And in true Aiden fashion, he's already probably a kilometer ahead. We won't see him. Hopefully he stops for break because we're going to be about halfway and he's going to be all the way up there. Man, imagine having energy like that, boy. How long have you been waiting?
About 15 minutes.
Okay. Well, thanks for waiting up for us. I actually wasn't expecting to see you for another hour. I'll see you in hour. Bye. All right, B-man, 2 kilometers in. You feeling good?
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you're a third of the way there to the, you know, to tonight's rest. That's pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 kilometers after lunch is going to be really tough, but that's pretty good. 2 kilometers, 2,200 meters. Rare sighting of Aiden in the wild. Do you like those mangoes we packed?
Yeah.
Those are pretty tasty. I do really like this dark path. It's like, there's like 0 chance to get a sunburn out here. And it's nice and cool. You break a sweat almost instantaneously, even though it's gotta be what, 60 degrees? It is nice and cool.
I cannot tell because I am so flushed.
Really? Yeah. Are you completely drenched in sweat?
From my head to my shoulders. Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, it actually is. I mean, it's all uphill and all that, but it's just like a normal hard day
Yeah.
on a major trek.
Yeah.
I mean, this would be a hard day, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But it's just one hard day. All right, 3 kilometers. And it was about 35 minutes. So 35 minutes per kilometer, straight uphill. Not too bad.
Hey, Dad.
Yo,
My lollipop lasted me to this perfect timing.
nice. Yeah, they're not afraid, are they? So we take 2 more kilometers and we're rest for the night. It's pretty, not a bad day.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then tomorrow we're all the way back down.
yeah. Tomorrow will just be long. Oh yeah, this just got easy. It's barely uphill. This is like nap time. All right, break time. Because we decided we're gonna break every half kilometer after lunch. Where we were breaking every kilometer before lunch. And now we're all alone. Just me and the B-man. Some power packs, and obviously, secret weapon number 2. Did you know that some people will flip out if you just like take a bite out of your Kit Kat just like that without, you know, breaking it apart?
I know.
I mean, the memes are like, some people just want to watch the world burn, and like people will like take a bite right out of it. Should I do it?
No.
You don't think I should? It'd be too much for the audience to handle if I just took a bite right out of it? Okay.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. We'll get hate mail. We'll get all kinds of hate comments. Okay, guys, I broke it, okay? Nobody needs to freak out. There we go. There's proof. Hello, lady. You want a Kit Kat? Or just bite into your Kit Kat without breaking them apart?
No.
So about 500 meters, well, probably 6 or 7, well, between 500 to 600 meters to our end goal for today at the hotel. There's this really beautiful little shaded area. Just gorgeous.
Oh, don't look over here.
That totally surprised me. I was totally surprised walking up, and then boom, there's an Aiden in the tree. And Bastion's like, what? What? Boom, Aiden in the tree. That is hilarious. So how you doing?
Good.
You just thought you'd wait on your family?
Hmm?
How you doing? You doing okay?
Yeah.
You're not exhausted?
No.
Really? Okay, so you're just taking your sweet time?
Yeah.
Good? You enjoying yourself?
Yeah, a trick is not a trick if you don't enjoy it.
100%, bro. 100%. Okay, wow. Look at this place. $3,300 meters. Nice. And that's where we're staying, huh?
Oh, it's a substation. The electrical substation.
Oh, up there? Oh, nice. Sounds like they got a generator going. Oh, you got wet, both of you?
Yeah, left side, yeah.
All right, so substation, ranger's office, registration counter.
You know, I
Okay.
heard the porters go up and down twice a day.
Really?
Yeah, so they can bring supplies up here.
Wow. That's a good trek, huh?
My legs are burning.
Look at the.
Look at their legs.
Yeah,
The calves on those porters are like astronomically big.
Jesus Christ.
They are like,
you can say that.
jeez.
Big babies.
You don't want to get in a leg fight with them.
No.
They would destroy you. Oh, wow. Hey, this is a proper trekking cabin, huh? Trekking lodge. This is nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not expecting such big fridge like that.
I know.
It's so luxe.
This trek is actually pretty brutal. I wasn't expecting it to be so brutal, but part of the problem is you wake up in the morning, you trek till about noon, right? It's about 5 hours up the mountain or so. Noon, I think it took us 4 to 5 hours. And then you are waiting to go to sleep because you're trying to get to sleep. Couldn't get to sleep because you're not used to going to bed at 7, which you need to go to bed at 7 minimally to get minimal amount of sleep in order to wake up at 2. But we didn't get hardly any sleep whatsoever. I think it's pretty common that, maybe got an hour of sleep and it was not very good. And then it was kind of noisy because there's people walking through the hallways. It's like it's like a cabin hotel. So there's not like a lot of insulation or things like that or noise reduction. So anyway, so you're tired, you're waking up the next day, and it's 2 days. You're going straight up and then straight down. And as Amy said, oh my goodness, the brutalest part is just going down because you're going down for hours, just down, down, down. So your knees are hurting, your thighs are hurting, your calves are hurting. And it's just like, I was very surprised because we've gone on treks that, we've had harder treks, but not many that packed in, because usually you're going up way more in elevation or way more farther in elevation, but it's spread out over time. This was like action packed and right in there. So we were definitely sore for days afterwards. We're definitely doing the penguin walk. Even our French friends, very fit, they were just, we were sharing memes back and forth after the trek about just how tore up we were because we just weren't ready for it. And we didn't do any preparation for the trek. We didn't do any.
No.
It was a 2-day trek. We weren't thinking it was going to be that bad. So.
And you got to understand that it was straight up and straight back down, and we've never on any of our treks. There's usually flat for a while and then down and then some up and then flat for a while. This was straight up, straight down. There was like little 50-meter maybe flat spots, but that's about it.
Yeah, not many. So if you do this trek, it's a pretty intense trek for us that have done, some pretty extreme trekking. This was a decent one. This wasn't the hardest, but it was definitely no joke at all. And it was beautiful. I mean, just gorgeous.
It was great. It was bright. It was sunny, but it wasn't too sunny. It was nice and blue.
Perfect weather. We didn't get rained on. It was nice and cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you just could not have 2 better trekking days whatsoever. And everybody just had a wonderful time. The whole group was just positive. It was hard, especially towards the end because no sleep, and that made it harder.
Yeah.
Your body, when you don't get much sleep, it's a lot harder to trek in. So that was definitely adding to the challenge.
All right, it's 1:43, and breakfast will be ready in 17 minutes?
That's what the girl said.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I didn't sleep well. at all.
Yeah.
2 nights in a row, basically.
Yep.
So I think that's the roughest part about this trek is not sleeping well.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Quiet nighttime hiking. Yeah, cool view, huh?
I can see the red light from here. Are those cars? Or is that a cell tower? I don't know.
Snake of lights. Yeah. 1.3 kilometers more? Nice. So let's go to Kinabalu. KK. Well, this is some rock climbing here. King of the mountain right there. Yeah, he does. All right, well, we did it, guys. Got to the top. Now it's time to go down. That's freaking gorgeous.
If you come here, it's really cool.
Yoga.
Yeah? I hope you didn't film that.
Well, yes.
That's where the little lip thing is. I always see in the pictures this thing right here.
Oh yeah, that guy right
It looks like
there.
a dude giving the kissy face.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Next challenge. Where is the sun? So, and then one day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, go with the two and then alone. Okay, so come. Maybe there. We do yeah.
All right, so once you get down, they also give you a brunch once you get down, and they make sure that there is plenty of food. And there was a lot of it, and it was good.
Every meal, you always had plenty of food. You had more food than you could want. And it was all, like I said, quality and just the abundance. There was always an abundance of food because it was always kind of like buffet-like. Mm-hmm. So you could go back as many times as you want. No one went hungry, that's for sure. So I got to say, Sutera Lodge, they are a class act, and I would not. So to go from a very bad experience on the safari and then go to Sutera Lodge and have this Mount Kinabalu trekking experience, it couldn't have worked out better.
So the Mount Kinabalu trek is 100% worth it without a doubt.
Yeah, the whole family agrees. Fantastic experience. Just totally worth it. If you find yourself in Malaysia, you like to get out, book this trek. Just call Sutera directly. Mm-hmm.
They'll help you with everything.
Yeah. So, okay, well, that's it. We are currently in lockdown here in Kuala Lumpur. So this is our last video that I've been reluctantly putting off the editing of. So now that's over. Hopefully we can get back out. I don't know when you're going to see this video, but hopefully not too long after you see this video, the world will be back to normal and we can go out again and experience more of this beautiful country, Malaysia.
Yeah.
See ya.